you for, but I created you on purpose, with purpose, for purpose. Is there anybody else's testimony that you were once broken, that God stepped in, restored, renovated, and renewed you, and you're glad about it? That your heart is filled with joy and gratitude about it. Turn to your neighbor and tell them, I'm renovated now. I'm occupied now. I'm living in my God-given purpose now. I'm living my best life now. Turn to the other neighbor and keep it girl, keep it 100, and tell them it's a process and I'm being built.
Go ahead, Joe.
As we read or exegesis this text, we must understand that this is the author and great apostle Paul who was writing his first epistle to the church of Corinth to correct what he saw as erroneous views in the Corinthian church. Their perception was off, and because it was off, they weren't able to properly build. And it wasn't that they didn't want to build, it was just that they didn't understand how. My brothers and sisters, in order to build, you must have a full understanding of your role and your assignment. You must know the problem in order to fix it. Because if you don't understand, just like in the article, all of your efforts, time, and money will be wasted. So in all you're getting, the word says, get understanding. Somebody say, get understanding.
Get understanding.
When I was a child, I was diagnosed with a learning disability. Doctor said I wouldn't be able to comprehend or retain the information. The doctors diagnosed me with ADHD. But Pastor, you see, the devil is a liar. And for what truth you let speak in and over your life. They didn't know I was just a different learner. That I had to be taught differently.
Come on.
Misdiagnosed me. I was just a visual learner. And I had to see it in order to actually receive it. Is there anybody else's testimony that you didn't just get it when you were told or read about it? That you had to actually see it, walk through it, and go through it in order to see it? Good God, glory. People misdiagnosed Paul. They spoke something over Paul that wasn't true. They said Paul was a murderer. And yes, Paul murdered, but you must see that that's not what. Yes, Paul murdered, but you must see you're not what you have done. Your situation doesn't define you. God called Paul when he created him to be an apostle. God is saying you're not what they call you, you're what I called you. Your situation is just building you into who I called you to be. Paul was a visual learner, so Jesus had to show Paul the word, to teach Paul the word, so that Paul could understand it. So he comes to Paul with the word. He shows Paul the word so that he can understand it, so that he become an expert builder. Jesus shows Paul, I am the Passover. I am first fruit. I am unleavened bread. I am the law. I am the word. I come to do away with the law, but to bring a full meaning and understanding to it. Some people are wondering why they had to go through some of the horrific things that they've been through. Some of you are facing storms right now, but God is saying, you're giving you experience. That you need experience, because I have to show you, to teach you, to build you, because you're a visual learner. And I need you to understand it, so that you can become an expert builder. Some jobs won't even hire you without experience. They want to know if you are able or capable of doing the job properly. So Paul being an expert now in building, watch this, after becoming an apprentice.
Okay.
Paul given the opportunity and the privilege to sit underneath the builder of all builders, the teacher of all teachers. Yes, after becoming an apprentice and now becoming an expert builder, he has the ability and know-how to pinpoint issues in the structural foundation of the believer. So Paul addresses the role of the church as the order, as God being the CEO, the head and the visionary to establish the order. Paul is putting things in the right perspective. Paul says, me and Apollos are just co-workers for God. We work for God, watch this, not for ourselves or anyone else. God runs this, and with God lies the purpose. Paul understands there wouldn't even be a reason to build without purpose. Paul God knows this thing is bigger than him, that it's about the fulfillment and completion of what God created you for. Somebody say it's about purpose. How many know with God it's about purpose?
Yes.
Somebody give God praise for purpose.
Yes.
That it had something great in mind when he created us. That he just didn't make any junk. That we are fearfully and wonderfully made. On purpose, with purpose, for purpose. Matthew 5:15 said, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto everyone that is in the house. Turn to your neighbor and tell him, I'm lit. Yes, I'm lit. I'm lit on purpose, for purpose, with purpose. God said, I'm a builder, you're my apprentice, so you'll become an expert builder. Somebody say, build me, God, so I'll become an expert builder.
Yes.
Watch this. And to start the process, we must have the right foundation. We must have to allow God to take control of our building. The lengthy legal process took a while because by law we have free will. Oh, Pastor, I wish I could teach this thing. The lengthy legal process took a while, but by law we have free will, but he gained control over Paul. And the lengthy legal process takes a while, but he's gaining control over us. So we must understand part of the process. There's two parts of the process. Paul addresses the non-believer and the believer right here. Look at it right there in the text. For the non-believer, he's saying Christ is the only foundation, meaning you have to make Christ your Lord and your Savior. That's the first part of the process. And to the believer, now that you have established Jesus as the only foundation, you have to understand that you have to watch what you build on this foundation. You can't just build anything on the foundation of Christ. So because of Paul's experiences, he understands whatever is built on this foundation, the Word, Jesus, has to be supported by the Word. He understands your life, your building must be in alignment and agreement with the Word. Somebody say Jesus. Somebody else say the foundation. Because if it is not on the day of the inspection, on the day of the test, when the storms of life arise, when the fire breaks out, and what you have built is not supported by the foundation, Jesus, the Word, you will lose everything. But for the believer, accept your life. Someone is wondering why they keep taking loss after loss after loss. God said, check your foundation and what you try to build on me. Somebody say, build me, God, so I will become an expert builder. This is my last thing, and I'm going to my seat. What I love about Paul is that he doesn't keep his testimony, his journey to himself. He shares it and was eager to share it after going through the lengthy process because he understands it was to make him an expert builder so he can build properly now. So he gives us the key ingredient to his success, the recipe to making him such an expert. Right there in the text, he says it was grace. Grace made him an expert builder. Grace gave him grace molded him, shaped him, and the ability to mess up over and over and over again. Not 2 times, not 3 times, not 1 chance, not a second chance, but another chance. God said chance after chance after chance after chance.